right now, Cody. Let's go get into some cat calls.
Ole do it. Ole do it.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Why aren't you playing, baby? Play.
No, okay.
My boy Baker Mayfield is back as the starting QB.
You might want to restart it.
Okay.
And I feel less confident.
This is Anthony.
Yep.
Okay.
What's up, C3? It's Anthony from Charlotte. Just calling in, saying what's up. My boy Baker Mayfield is back as the starting QB. And I feel less confident than with TJ.
Come
And
on,
it's crazy
Anthony.
to
Stay
say.
with us.
We got a tough game. Lamar is a good quarterback. Another AFC North opponent. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Very interesting season. Right now, we still have the third pick in the draft, which is kind of crazy to me. Even with us winning, still the third pick in the draft, so we're still slated to get a top pick in my opinion. But, we could win some games we're not supposed to on paper. You never know what's happening. But, that's the life of being a Panthers fan. We really never know we really never know. I mean, you really never know how the season's going to turn out.
Right.
I remember there's a shit ton of people in 2015 who were saying the Panthers are going to be a bottom dweller team. So you get what I'm saying. Realistically, anything can happen. And obviously, I want my Carolina Panthers to be a winning football team. Bryce Young he's a gingerbread man, okay? He is a gingerbread man, and that's what the Bama boys call him. I got some friends that go to Alabama. They love the gingerbread man. But he's my QB1. But listen, Baker Mayfield, I'm still cheering for you, brother. Even though you go around beating people with your head like some crazy maniac, okay? Keep motherfucking pounding, C3. You already know the vibes. Anthony from Charlotte, peace out.
Hey, Anthony from Charlotte. It's funny how things change. That he was one of Baker's biggest supporters, and he's still a fan of Baker, but I think the sample size that we already saw of Baker just doesn't inspire much confidence.
It'd be different. It'd be different if that was one game. We saw it through way too many. We said, you go back and give me the receipts all you want. I said specifically that he will have an opportunity. I will give him the benefit of the doubt for 3 weeks. And that should more than make up for what he lost with regard to time with his starters and training camp, fighting for the starting job. And unfortunately, it's been very much a failed experiment. It's something that is unfortunate, but at the end of the day, I mean, we're dealing with it, and I don't know that the thing that's interesting is I could see him coming in here and blowing it up. I could see him coming in here
when it doesn't matter anymore.
When it doesn't matter,
yeah.
I could see him coming in here throwing 5 touchdown passes and beating the Ravens. I could see it happening.
And then you're like, oh my God, maybe there was more to it. Who knows?
No, I'm not even going to say that because we've seen this story play out in the Browns, right? We were hoping we were going to at least get the 50-50 Baker Mayfield. We got like the bottom 5% of every one of his games he's ever played were the only games he's played for the Panthers. Like we've gotten the bottom 5 performances he's ever done. Like if you look at the statistically speaking, we've got his worst games as a quarterback in the NFL as a Carolina Panther. That's what we've gotten from him. So we haven't even gotten the middle of the pack, coming in here and there's a 50-50 chance he's going to blow it up. And there's a 50-50 chance he's going to lose you the game because of a stupid pick, right? We didn't get that. We got the 100% chance Baker Mayfield was the problem. And now so I could see him coming in here and I could see him winning out for the rest of the game. If he wins this, if he comes in and blows it out of the water, he's going to be the starter. And I can see him having really good games. I am not in the business of saying, let's go ahead and put Baker on this team as the starter next year. Maybe to be, a backup, but I'm tired of the inconsistent quarterback play. Now, the other question mark people are going to have to ask is how much of was his shoulder surgery an impact in the fact that he maybe that was a part of the reason he was slow to start the year, because it certainly wasn't even the worst fan of Baker as a Brown didn't sell us this Baker Mayfield that we got.
I think this is is that the internet wants to be full of gotcha culture right now, where it's like, we told you I was right. They're gonna go back and do all these different things. Sure. But look, you can't. Goes for the same for us with Sam Darnold. Maybe it was not the case with Teddy Bridgewater, just because I was so salty when it just came from not having Cam. So for me, it was like, I don't care who it wasn't Cam, so I wasn't going to be happy. But like, you can't help but want to hope that these things worked. And I think that, like, for a lot of us, no one else was really advocating for Baker Mayfield to be the trade and the guy. But when it happened, we were like, man, maybe this could actually work. I think the scarier thing about all this is just to see, we could have picked Justin Fields. And I'm not ready to
anybody though, man.
Right. But I know. I mean, we had the chance. We were there. We were all screaming Justin Fields on the draft party, and then they come out and get J.C. Horn. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't want to overdo the Justin Fields just yet, because it has, just like, we don't want to be too recency biased. He's had 3 good games in a row, and not just go all of a sudden we could have been so different. But Justin Fields, they finally are letting this guy do everything. And he's starting to feel it. Maybe
it was my fantasy team, bro.
Oh God, I got smoked by a guy who had him 44 points. How about this? Just a little update here. I'm going to refresh this page real quick. Greg, like this. Harrison Barters right now is 2 for 4. He's got 1 3-pointer. He's got 2 free throws. He's got. Is this right? He's already got 4 rebounds. Holy cow. Let me see this. I'm refreshing my page. He's already at 12 of 17 and a half, baby. And it's like 4 minutes in. Kevin Durant's at 12 points. I'm halfway there, baby. Prize Picks, it's at
NBA. You just need to do nothing but bet NBA. Stop betting football.
I'm telling you, the NBA is so much
damn.
easier to bet on the NFL on FanDuel. I do so much better in the NBA than I do in the NFL.
Well, you should do it on Prize Picks, Greg. You got a Prize Picks. And my friend, who is a big NFL guy, says the same thing, is that NBA is where he's made lots of money. I just don't want to have to start watching the NBA.
Right.
You don't really have to, man. I mean, look,
you just watch the highlights.
Bet on lines anyway.
Yeah, but you just gotta watch the high. I mean, you gotta kind of know something. Like, I'm taking stat. I actually won a couple of these Prize Picks, and I've just put money on people I had no. I was just like, you know what? I've heard his name. He's a guard. 12 points. I think he can do it. Boom. Random luck. You know what? A broke clock is right twice a day.
Yeah.
And I tell you this clock has been broke on the NFL, but this clock going to be catching that. Oh, I better be quiet. Kevin Durant, 12 points already. Harrison Barnes already at 12 of 17 and a half in his points, assists, rebounds category. I like that points, assists, rebounds. You got to be careful. That number gets up quick in a hurry for a lot of different players. The number's 252, 228, 50, 98. Will Baker cook against the Ravens, or will Baker get burnt? Are we back to being Baker bottoms if he break? Okay. Well, that was easy. That's
the
easy.
dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I
need your sound
for anybody.
He's a fool, and don't I know it?
They're talking about me.
Look, no, we do an injustice if he comes in here in the next 3 or 4 games and he is lighting it up. It is an injustice for us not to pull for him. We have the right to change our opinion on players like this whenever the information given to us has changed.
Definitely,
that's always the
absolutely.
thing. So if he comes in here and does really, really well, then yeah.
Are you going to re-sign him?
I don't know. I'm not saying that.
Because he does. Actually, you might have to have that conversation.
You might have to
if he does play well.
If he's willing to take a hell of a pay cut, fuck yeah. I mean,
he's already taken one.
He's not going to take a huge pay cut. He's going to want to get paid like a star.
I don't know if he's played well enough to get.
Greg, how about this?
Well enough for it.
How about this, Greg? And y'all might think I'm crazy. If he's going to demand like a big contract, there's almost nothing Baker Mayfield could do to make me want to give him a new contract.
But who the hell is going to give it to him, though? Like, he might be able to say that all he wants, but guess what? Is right now he's on the precipice of not playing next year. You know, right. So like, I mean, like, what kind of demands is Baker Mayfield going to be able to make? I don't even care if he has if he goes and beats the Ravens and has a very good season to the end of the year. I don't think he really has a lot of leverage on a team. And I think this is where the Panthers need to be cautious. No multi-year deals, man.
Right.
None of that. I would rather pay him close to starting money or any guy for 1 year than I would to be like, and again, that was the mistake on Teddy Bridgewater, was not Teddy Bridgewater, but the length and the amount of the contract. So it's just better for, if it doesn't work, for you able to wash your hands of it and it not be sticking around for years in the future. The number's 252-228-5098. Will Baker cook? Will those Baker buns be burnt? What if he is good? Will you be a Baker bottom? And could the Panthers actually be interested in re-signing Baker Mayfield? Sounds so absurd even coming out of my mouth. But you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah.
Next call.
What I say about what ifs.
I ain't your uncle. I ain't your aunt. I ain't none of that.
That is me, C-Dog, 1983. Anytime you come in here, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Now, so I made it short and sweet like I always do. I was very excited about the win last night. I just felt like we should have tried to score a touchdown before halftime instead of kicking a field goal. Then even after halftime, we just run the ball too much. Like, throw the ball, give DJ Moore, should get at least 10 targets a game. Period.
I agree.
I know you want to grab him. I know you want to grab and pound the ball, but DJ Moore need to get 10 touches a game. Period. He needs 10 targets. Besides that, the division's still open. You know what I'm saying? We like 3-1 in the division. We can beat the Bucks again. We can beat the Saints. And who else we got playing in the division? Then that's it. We split with the Falcons. You know, the only tough game probably won't be the Seahawks, but we should be able to beat Pittsburgh, and we should be able to beat just about anybody else that's on the schedule, man, including Denver, because Denver ain't looking too tough, you know, this year. But man, shout out to G Baby the GOAT. Shout out for all these fake ass fans that want to tank. Ain't nobody tanking. We trying to win every fucking game. And shout out to goddamn Derek Brown and Terrence Marshall Jr.
Yeah.
Derek Brown just been fucking balling these last fucking couple of games. Terrence Marshall Jr., like, what the fuck was this at last year and this season? Like, you know, what the fuck Matt was thinking about not playing this young bull, you know. Then, you know, Dante Jackson is gone for the year. I'm not really mad about that. I feel like we overpaid him, and he's undersized. So I think the secondary is going to play better without Dante Jackson. And Chen coming back next week, so we will see. But anyways, great show as always. Make sure when you come in here, hit the like button, subscribe, keep pounding. Everybody have a great fucking night. Keep pounding, goddamn.
Hell yeah.
C-Dog coming in after the post-game show. Want to get that call in. Don't forget, guys, we're here after every game. Live reacting. We're not live. Well, we are live reacting because we're here right now. We're live reacting right now. But right after every game, you can join us for the C3 Panthers post-game show. And that was a call from the Thursday night. The show went pretty late into the evening, but a happy show there. C-Dog makes a lot of cool points about Derek Brown, Terrace Marshall Jr. we touched on. One thing I want to get to before we move on in that call is that happened before the Bucs went to Germany and won against the Seattle Seahawks. Got that wrong in my pick'em. And the idea is this, though, is that the Buccaneers have won 2 in a row now. They beat the Rams at the last second. Wow. They beat the Seahawks. They have moved now to 5-5. They're not dead. They could be getting healthier. Is this division really available to the Carolina Panthers? You do get the Bucs one more time, so you can make a dent in that. But you got a tough couple of teams ahead. You've got the Ravens this week, which I think that's a far cry that we really beat that team. I'm sorry. Is that if we do, it's kind of like miracle magic. I mean, you're thinking, see what we look like against Cincy. I just don't want to be overjoyed because we beat the Falcons twice. All right, we didn't beat the Falcons twice. We beat the Falcons once, but played 2 games well against the Falcons. Let's not get full of ourselves just yet. Go ahead.
I'll give you this to make you feel a little bit better. We might have a couple of hard games coming up, but I'll tell you what, the Buccaneers' next game is the 27th. They're on a bye week this week, okay?
Okay.
The next game they have is going to be the Browns with Deshaun Watson.
Okay. Oh, is he back this week right now? Is he coming back this week?
That's if I'm recalling, it's week 11, so... he got
Lester man back at the helm.
And he's playing in Houston. You could not write that any better, dude.
I'm sure that was on purpose. That's why there was going to let. Yeah, I'm sure.
So, but on top of that, they then go a couple of weeks on December 11th. They play the 49ers, who will destroy them. You can talk about the 49ers all you want, but when you look at the fact that how the Bucs played us, our run game destroyed them, right? Talk about the 49ers, they're going to go in there and they have a good defense. They have Bosa back and healthy. Those guys, they're going to have. I think I'm predicting that to be a loss, and it's going to be a pretty big one. And then they go to face the Bengals the next week, who will have Jamar Chase back. Okay. So I'm saying out of their next 4 games, they're going to win. They're going to lose 3 out of those 4 games because they are going to be facing the Saints. The final 2 games are going to be the Cardinals and the Panthers. And so I really honestly believe our last game of the season is going to be against the Bucs. If in fact this game against Baltimore looks competitive, or even if how we win that game at the end of the year is going to decide the division.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, just because we absolutely have to highlight this.
Patron
Michael
saint.
Davis, the freaking man.
Engineer aficionado.
With the $35 love bomb, says all I have to say is keep pounding.
Oh, yeah.
And he told me that I didn't have to read it all. But I love listening to people who have an expertise in like one thing or another. People that really know their craft. I enjoy people talking about it. So,
and not just us talking about a stadium in general terms. Now we get some like real insight into some of the challenges of having this type of infrastructure in the city of Charlotte.
And it's great that on the night that we're talking about this, we have an actual engineer who can shine some light on it. So real quick, just to read the last one. That being said, the underground drainage capacity is limited by the surrounding infrastructure. That location in particular for BOA is served by inadequate stormwater systems. As such, it makes it difficult to maintain permanent vegetation at such a negative elevation in comparison to surrounding finished grades. He said, in other words, locally, the field at Bank of America is below sea level, and as such, they had to implement a solution that wasn't so impacted by the local environment. The mix of microfibers in the field is certainly an issue. Microfibers are used typically in non-conventional concrete reinforcement as a low viscosity sub for deformed steel reinforcement. As such, the surface tension of the microfiber is reduced by direct comparison to natural fibers and even other synthetic polymers typically used in finished surfaces. David Tepper was misled for sure.
I need some interpretation on that, actually,
that looks like great
because I thought that the way the comments were going is, or his assessment was, that it's difficult to have natural grass. And then the idea then is that this mixed blend is also difficult. And my final question, Michael, is like, how were we so successful in keeping that field if it was? And probably has something to do with the growth of Charlotte, I would think.
Well, but he also
put pressure on the infrastructure demands.
Well, he also mentions that those same microfibers are used typically in non-conventional concrete reinforcement. So to reinforce concrete. So it would make sense that if you're a player and you're playing on it and you're falling all over it, it might be a sustainable surface, but notably a lot harder when you're actually feeling it, because a lot of those materials are made to reinforce. That was my interpretation of that. Again, Michael is the expert here. And yeah, we're going to have to get him on the show one time, maybe talk about this stuff, and he can kind of break it down in layman's terms for us. But thank you, Michael. That was a fantastic insight. Where were we at, Tony? We were talking about
we were going to the next call.
All right, let's do that.
Yep.
What's going on, guys? It's Tyler here. Hope you guys are having a great night. With regards to Baker starting, especially against the Ravens, it doesn't matter who's going to start. We're going to get beat. I don't have confidence in PJ, Sam, or Baker, especially against this team. I would expect, would not be surprised if this turns into another Cincinnati game where we just get demolished, especially in Baltimore. But I'm looking forward to the pieces that I think will be staying with us moving forward, with the Deontay Foreman, Terrace Marshall, just seeing those people grow and develop, and because I believe those are the people that are going to be for our future. But again, Baker starting. It sucks for PJ. I wanted him to really finish the whole season out and just play well. So we did have to see Baker, and I truly believe even if Baker does decent, I don't think he's going to stay. I think they're going to have Sam play a little bit. They may even do like Baker first half, Sam second half, especially if Baker doesn't play that well. But they're not going to let him play, especially if he does okay. They're not going to allow him to keep starting and develop that fifth round pick into a fourth round pick. It's just not going to happen. So, but looking forward to see like how does Brian Burns continue to play well and warrant the money that we're going to give him, big contract, and because a lot of people are saying that they wanted us to trade him, who's going to and get 2 first round picks. You got to make sure you hit those picks, or else that trade is garbage. So anyways, hope you guys having a good night. We're gonna enjoy this long season ahead. Keep pounding, guys. You have a great one. Talk to you later.
Keep pounding.
Good stuff. Let's keep going through with the calls. The number's 252-228-5098. Michael Davis said, simple interpretation. Natural is best, but the field has underground drains that feed into stormwater systems that are beyond full capacity. It's like a clogged toilet. And I know that was one of the things, is that the Panthers, Bank of America, had a lot of, like, it was like they were saying, impressive drainage. I wonder if the growth of Charlotte and the growth of the city and the infrastructure has actually continued to put pressure on like that existing infrastructure So those are the challenges that are beyond just like, hey, roll out grass. Hey, roll out, is that you have to think about how does it actually work? And does it not only does it get the clogged toilet, but when you plunge that clogged toilet, does it screw up other people's toilets in other rooms, by pushing water, not unnecessarily, but, it's like, how can these fast growing areas deal with that growth? And we're even seeing that in a stadium type scenario. 252-228-5098.